Hi there, it's Amy Kunkel, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and blogger at crazybeautiful.com. I'm going to show you first how to just assemble one of each of your paper pumpkin cards. I feel like there's a lot of tips that you can learn from just seeing it put together for the first time. I know you can go over to see the video that Stampin' Up! Produced. But that's not actual real time and there aren't any words. So I think that you'll notice there is a ton of stuff that you get with this kit. You really just get an abundance of supplies. So I've kind of tried to zoom out a little bit on my camera for now so you can see everything that comes in the kit. So this is kind of a heavier duty twine. It's definitely thicker than our linen thread. And then we're gonna make two different shape cards. So we have the envelopes for them. And this great envelope liner paper is really fun. I'm gonna line the envelopes for just one of each, and then you know I'm gonna use this for something else. So just go ahead and start by kind of popping out some of each item here. I've got the different colors of ink just handy. Wild Wasabi, Calypso Coral, and Tip Top Taupe. Now this is the color that comes in it, but I always like to have the coordinating colors along with it, and Bermuda Bay if you want to pick up this, or a Pool Party. Either one of those will work nicely with that color blue. The stamps for this are really super cute. This one says, "It's your day," and then "Happy thoughts for you." To line your envelope, you're just going to add adhesive at the top, and that's typical of both, because what you really want is you really only want it attached at one spot, and then that way you won't be fighting it when you try to close it, okay? So that way this inside piece can move like a tiny bit if you want it to. This is your card base, and this is kind of a fun technique. You're gonna stamp color on color. So using the Tip Top Taupe, which is a darker brown, I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit so you don't have to see so much clutter going on. And remember, when stamping with this, having your paper piercing mat underneath is always going to help. And I'm just gonna throw a piece of printer paper under there so that I don't get my mat dirty. Okay, now this one is a little bit tricky for if you want to make sure to line these up. You want to put the short side along the top, and it's only 1/4 of an inch difference. So this edge right here is 3.5. So that's the shorter dimension. The other one is 3 3/4. So definitely kind of a tight squeeze there. Now one of my suggestions is going to be starting with the larger shapes first. You're going to have about 1/8 of an inch border. So go ahead and put that one on, and then I'm going to switch over and put this one on. So your 1/8 of an inch is going to be here as well, so you can kind of gauge that. So it doesn't have to be exactly 1/8 of an inch. You're just really kind of trying to line everything up as you lay it down. So get those ones on, and then you're gonna finish with that one and that one. So again, like this one's kind of going in between those two. So just kind of try to position it. Let's see, if you botch it a little bit like I did on that one, you can carefully peel it up and try again. And if all else fails, you can trim the edges, so that's always an option. I'm going to use the It's Your Day on this one. You could clean off your stamp and put it on that same block, but I just have a block G that I'm going to use. Stamp right there. And then I thought this was kind of fun. When you're putting on your flower, you can do that so the back side is covered. And I'm just going to use my dimensionals here, or these ones perhaps, to just adhere that on. So you're sticking the adhesive onto the circle as well as the back of the flower. So that's just gluing that on so you don't have to put adhesive in that little area. And then you're going to come back with these little glue dots to grab the twine. The twine is always fun for type A people because you can never get it right. But I like to tap into my messy creative side and not really care. So I'm just going to take about like a 16-inch strip. It says 20, but that's a little much for me to deal with. Okay, so you can organically scrunch this or just sort of fold it back and forth, wrap it in a circle, do whatever. I usually like to kind of wrap it in like a loose circle so I get the ends to sort of end where I want them to, and then put them down. You don't have to glue everything down, but just adhering some of the pieces down so that when you flip it over, you're going to peel off the back. So I don't really want any covering my dimensionals because I want those to be flush onto my paper. And then if you have something sticking out, you don't want it sticking out, you can trim it off or just kind of shove it back in. I'm just going to tuck it back in. So there's that, and then go ahead and put one of these on. I'm gonna just put my leaves on last. And pop them up like that. Then you're just going to center it on the top, adding this on with dimensionals. So that is so cute, and it coordinates with your envelope. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, now this liner actually has an adhesive dot up there at the top. So that's going to hold that in place. And then just take this sticky off to seal your envelope. I'm going to do the sides and then the bottom so that envelope comes together easily, and set that aside. Now this card is, I think they're calling it a banner card, and that's really kind of fun. I'm going to stamp it first just so that I kind of get that where I want it. So again, I'm just going to create these according to the directions. Now that you might want to just kind of place this up here to see that this is kind of centered. I eyeballed it and did a pretty good job. This is going to be the same kind of piecing technique with your stickers and these little wood veneer pieces. These are thin basswood or balsa wood. I love them. So stinking cute. So you're gonna, I would kind of pick these out and then make sure you know sort of approximately where they're going. And then the stars you can sort of add as you want at the end. I'm going to kind of try to follow about as good as I can. Now these, there is no border, so you probably want to make sure you pay attention to that when you're putting them on. So I'm going to hold that one in place when I stick that on, and then I'm going to come back and make sure to kind of build these as I go. I'm not going to show you how I do every single one of these, but I'm going to show you how I start this for sure. So I did not leave any spaces here, so I think what you're going to find is you might want to leave spaces once you get to this next one. So I just left like a tiny little space there. So just make sure to line it up with the edge. So if you line it up with the edge, you'll kind of leave a space and those 2 points will come together. Now I can already tell you for my other cards I'm not going to be doing this, so you'll have to hop over on my blog to see the different ways that I put this kit together. I love the card, I love all the pieces, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun creating a lot of other designs. But for me, things like not lining up exactly is kind of already bothering me. So I'm just gonna try to stick it out and get all these on there, and then we will move on to some other creative things to do with this kit. Okay, I'm going to tell you I got to the top and I have some left over at the edge, and I actually kind of peeled that apart a little bit. So I'm going to add a little glue dot in here to hold that sticker back together and trim the top off, and we'll put it on our card. Okay, so this is going to go on here with dimensionals. I really do like it, aside from my lining up issues. But I am a little too type A to function in that situation. So wrap some twine around here and go ahead and do your bow. So I'm gonna play with this off camera. Gonna do a bunch of other alternate ideas for you, and I'm gonna post a bunch of those pictures on my blog today, so make sure to swing over there. I'm just gonna add that last little guy with a tiny drop of glue and put on some of these little stars. I love them. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. It is kind of Stampin' Up's way of giving you new products each month, as we have a really cute stamp set and some new papers to work with here. I hope that you enjoyed this. If not, got a little laugh out of it, and go over to my Paper Pumpkin or paperpumpkin.com and subscribe and give it a try. It's a monthly subscription service that will get mailed right to your door. So I would love for you to select me as your demonstrator. You would do that after your initial sign-in information is entered. So thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.